Welcome to the amendment section of how to make an amendment in SACE. The very first thing that you want to do is get to the Students drop-down menu, and you can either select Student IEPs or select Caseloads. For the purpose of this training, we'll go ahead and select Student IEPs. So take note that all of the list of students that you see here are fictitious because they are in our training modules. As you can see under the IEPs and these icons over here, you have some students that don't have all of the icons. For an amendment, we have to, and we can only amend an IEP that has been affirmed. And so here with this paper icon where it says current IEP, these are the IEPs that are allowable for an amendment. So we're going to go ahead and select current IEP. And it'll take us to current affirmed forms. You want to come down and select amendments, and then select the green button for add amendment. You will input the amendment date. So for this training, we'll just go ahead and select today, and then put the purpose of the amendment. Let's say for this student, we needed to hold a transition meeting. So we'll go ahead and select transition for the purpose. You can put the student reached the age for a individual transition plan, ITP. And then what you'll want to do is scroll all the way down because we need some additional forms in order for the IEP team to determine what transition is going to look like. So at the very bottom, it says, does this amendment require additional forms? Go ahead and select yes, and you can see how it'll populate various forms that you would need for this amendment. Something that's a nice feature here is to update IEP forms in addition to the amendment form, because we need additional transition pages, or if you were doing a behavior plan, you would need the behavior plan form. It gives you directions over here for you to follow, and then the amendment date will display on the editable forms. And it kind of guides you. Let me go ahead and stretch this out so that way you guys will be able to see the additional buttons here on the side. So let's go ahead and select transition 1, page 1. Now, right now, I'm not going to go through and fill out this entire page, because if you need additional information on how to fill out the transition page, you can always go to our CA Help website and select the SACE resources button. And in our IEP manual, you can go to the page of transition and it will show you the videos on how to fill out the transition page. So let's say if we fill this out, you'll hit save over here on the side. It's not going to let me, so let me just put, you'll hit save on the side. And then the button below it says return to amendment. And we're going to scroll back down because we're also going to need the transition page too. But the other thing that you're going to need to do is add the transition services. So again, you would select your services, offer a FAPE, and then go down and you would have to add the service over here and then find the transition that you would be adding, and then go through adding the appropriate. I'm just going to exit this page without saving, and we want to return to amendment over here on the bottom right-hand corner. So we're back to our amendment page. And now over here where you see changes to the IEP dated, go ahead and just notate whatever changes you made in the IEP. So we're going to, like you filled in or completed, let's say, completed transition pages and added transition goals and services. And then under the consent, I agree to the contents of the amendment to the IEP. This is for parents if they give parental consent, or they agree to the contents of the amendments, and if they have any exceptions, then you're going to go ahead and include what those exceptions are, because you can only implement what the parent consented to. Here you have signature and signature type, indicate like who those are. If the student is at age, then they're going to want to provide their signature. You have those that participated in the IEP amendment, the IEP team members. So check if the parent or adult student has received a copy of the IEP amendments or addendum page. You would check here. And then if my child requires additional special education services as part of this amendment IEP and my child is or may become eligible for public benefits, I authorize the LEA district to release student information for the limited purposes of billing Medi-Cal, Medicaid to access Medi-Cal health insurance benefits. Obtain the signature, mark the signature type, and when this is all done and complete, select Save. And then you will see the button on the very right-hand side. You're going to affirm all of these pages, and then you would select Affirm to complete the amendment.